Hi, I'm Ian Hutchinson from Life by Design, and welcome to your first lesson in this Kickstart program. Now, before we start and get into what are the 10 key tips or strategy ideas to help you get more clarity in work and life moving forward, I just want to check in and just make sure that you have downloaded your Kickstart guidebook and you're making some progress through that. Also want to just recap on the tool, the bonus tool we used when you first entered into this program. It was the Vision Diagnostic tool. Now, this tool was really useful for just setting up a foundation and getting clarity around, well, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Where are you sitting at the moment? We looked at things like vision, and you scored yourself out of on the sliding scale here. Vision, you did a quick check-in and gave yourself a score based on each of these questions. You then identified what your score was out of 20. And typically we find people scoring under 10 because, as we've mentioned earlier, 87% of people don't have clarity of vision. But the nice thing about this diagnostic tool is that it actually helps you work out what your strengths and weaknesses are, almost as a mini bar graph here. And you can see anything on the right that has gaps in it. Ideally you want to spend more time, energy and focus in. But it all starts with getting clarity of vision. What do you want in your life and work? Clarity of purpose is really the important first stepping stone. Unless you're clear on what you want, you won't know what the strategies are, you won't know what your obstacles are, you won't be able to put systems in place and get underway with creating more of a life by design rather than a life by default. Now, we could go through a whole process where we identify, success in life. What are your life priorities? What's your ideal work? It's very important, I believe, in the whole process, and this is the Life by Design process, to identify what do you want in life first. Get clear on what do you want, what your vision is. Once you get clear, then you can work out the how. What are the strategies? What are the obstacles? And typically cash flow is a big obstacle for many people. Once you know what you want and then how to get it, then it's just a matter of implementing it. And when are you going to implement? Now, that's sort of the bigger picture of what can be done, but for the purposes of today's lesson is really about cutting to the chase on what are some quick win strategies. And this is kind of my greatest hits list of some starting points just to get you going and get you to thinking about a few areas that you might want to explore. So I'll just rattle through these really quickly. The first principle or the first strategy idea is to understand that clarity creates control. And this is partly the whole purpose of this Kickstart program. Once you can get clarity, you can get more control. We're going to run through also in up and coming lessons to help you get more control, but also get you into this positive psychology attitude of gratitude. One of the simplest ways that you can improve your happiness in life, and at the end of the day, happiness is really the key of what we're trying to achieve here, happiness and success. Having clarity and purpose of what makes you happy and what makes you feel successful. So having an attitude of gratitude is really important. We're going to run through a tool, an exercise, and downloadable template on this in the next lesson. We're going to look at your current week, and it's really important to identify what does your current week look like? How do you spend your 168-hour time budget? Get clear as one of my key strategies and tip ideas. Get clear on what's important to you so you know, are you spending your 168-hour time budget, which is what makes up a week, are you spending that effectively? We're going to look at a tool and an exercise and you download a template where you can identify your current week and what does it currently look like. It's nice to benchmark. We need to also get really clear on what your life priorities are. This is a key strategy. Clarity creates control around your life. What are your key life priorities? Do you know what your top 3 priorities are? Another key tip is maximizing your job fulfillment and motivation. We spend a lot of time at work, so wouldn't it be nice to make sure that the time we're spending is fulfilling as possible and you're enjoying it as much as possible? There's tools that you can use to identify and instantly change, or virtually instantly change, your job fulfillment and maximize your motivation. It's really important also to make sure you're creating an inspiring future vision for yourself, so you're not just waking up each day and getting to the humdrum and the treadmill of life, but you wake up each day knowing where you're heading and feeling like you're excited about your future. There's nothing worse than not being excited about your future, your life ahead. What does it look like? Where you're aspiring to? What are you excited about? And that can be short-term, long-term, But really it's about making sure you're clear on what are some of those things that you really want to be doing. What do you want your life to look like moving forward, so you know what the strategies are to get there. And then it's things like identifying your personal cash flow, getting clarity around your personal finances. So many people don't have clarity around their finances. Less than 5% of the population have a cash flow for their lifestyle, but many people whinging and complaining they don't have enough money, or they don't have enough control of their finances, and their financial security is diminished. They feel stressed and not in control. So getting clarity around your personal finances is a really key initiative and strategy. And then more day-to-day things. How do you implement productivity strategies? Things like testing out theories on don't do any emails before 12 o'clock. Well, obviously, apart from these lessons. Don't do any emails before 12 o'clock. Focus on your priorities, your key priorities in the morning. What are your key priorities in work? What are your key priorities in life? Making sure you're achieving those. Email is something that can wait. So just test the theory, see how you go. Block out time units in your diary in advance. If there's something really important you need to do, make sure you're blocking out, allocating time for that. These are all simple little strategies, but it helps to make you more productive. Say no more often. Constantly there are people asking you to do things in life. Say, look, I can't do that right now, but I might be able to help you with that next week. So again, trying to be purposely selfish is a really important thing to make sure you're achieving what you want in your life, and usually they'll get it done anyway. So focus on little small things each day. 1% of your day is 15 minutes. If you just did 1% investing in things that are really important to you, you'd be amazed how much you can get done and achieve in your life by chipping away with some small productivity strategies. I'm also a big fan of having a top 5 fun list. If you had a spare 1 hour in the day, ideally, what would you love to be doing? I love going to movies. I love a massage once a week, taking the dog for a walk and getting out into some sunshine, reading in a hammock, seeing comedies, that sort of thing, exercising, going for a bike ride. What's your top 5 fun list? Do you have a fun list? Do you know what you could do to actually make your day-to-day life a bit happier? Have you got clarity around those things? And then number 10, it's kind of a no-brainer, but energize yourself by exercising. Get out, get some fresh air, move around. It's amazing how much you'll be more productive, feel more energized in life if you're getting some exercise for yourself. So this is just a top 10 list of ideas and tips. My challenge to you is start to do maybe 1 or 2 of these things in the next day or 2 or the next week. Small things can make a big difference. Some of these things are easy to do, but they're actually easier not to do. So I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson, where we're going to be focusing on the gratitude attitude habit. And we're going to have a downloadable tool that you can do, a really simple but powerful exercise, which will get you much clearer on what's important to you in life. But how can you improve your happiness by just doing some really simple little things? So I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.